Hey guys, and welcome back to Left on Red. It's your girl, Sierra, and I am so excited for today's episode because it's a different type of episode and a different format that we're going to do. I'm going to start this episode out with a bit of a solo kind of chat, and then we're going to get right into the interview because today I interviewed Emma, who is the founder of a company called 6 Degrees, and her company is all about social networking, bringing women together from all over New York. Hopefully, it could be in other states. I know we have listeners all around, but it's based here in New York, and it's all about bringing women together, finding your common interests, finding your people to be around and not get so lonely in the city. And we go deep and talk about friendships. We talk about breaking up with a friend, what we look for in a friend, and how to nurture your current friendships. So I'm really excited for you guys to listen. But before we get into the interview, I have a quick little solo I want to do about friends. Because I feel like post-graduation / mid-20s, even into your late 20s, heck, 30s or 40s, right? We get into certain chapters and phases where we are re-evaluating our friendships. And I am entering that phase again. So I'm in that phase of looking at friends I want to keep around, friends that I don't think are good for me anymore, and who is giving the same energy that I'm giving. And that's so important to me. So just to break it down for you guys, anyone who's listening that has knew me in school would tell you I was probably the loudest person. Okay. I won most memorable in high school. I don't even know what I did to be memorable, but that's like, I was just that loud girl who always loved to chat. So I have a podcast now. So I was always like talking, I was loud. I always had something to say. And I only grew into that person because when I was younger, I didn't really have, like, I had all these thoughts and things to say, but I just felt like people didn't like me or know how to approach me. I don't know. I wanted to become something else. And so I just became more louder. I became for my voice to always be heard. And it all stemmed from I want people to like me, to be around me, to have friends. I naturally just wanted to be in good company. And so I thought if I had that persona, people would want to be around me. But that it it led me into that, but there was also a downside to that. And my downside was I am the friend that if it's your birthday, if it's an anniversary, whatever it is, I'm showing up to the party. I don't care if it's early in the morning, early in the day. You won't even hear a complaint from me. I'm buying you a birthday card. When I was in college and I worked in student government in the office, I asked everybody what their birthday was. I wrote it on a list and I bought 12 birthday cards and I had everybody sign it. And that's the kind of like friend I was. Like that was me as a colleague. So me as a friend, I'm like, it's your birthday. I'm getting you a card. I'm at the dinner. We're doing whatever. And so I always expected for people to have that towards me too, right? Like, Sierra, it's your birthday. It's this, it's that. We're here for you. And I have not always gotten that. I would give so much for people and I would never get the same energy. And I think we can all relate on some sense that sometimes you are the friend that does too much. Like you're in the tier one, like you think you're a tier one friend or you are the tier one friend, and they look at you as a tier three friend. And by that, I mean, you may have this person like, that's my really good friend. If it's their birthday, I'm there. They ask me on vacation. Even if I don't have the money at the moment, I'm there. I'll find the money. If they ask me for this, that, I am there for you. Meanwhile, when you're going through something, when it's your birthday, anything that's happening, you call on them. They're slow to respond. They're never, they're just never really there. Maybe only there for like the highlight moments, but they're not giving that same energy. You may be in the tier three friend in their eyes. And that doesn't take away from who you are. It doesn't make you a bad person. It shouldn't make you look down on yourself. But we have to reevaluate who's in our life and who is giving us the same energy. And that is where I'm at. If you're not meeting me as a friend the way I'm meeting you and that I know you have the capacity to meet me at, then I think it's okay to kind of step back. And I say that a little loosely because I I do think it's unfair to say, well, because because I buy you a birthday card and I do this and that, that you should do that for me. No, not everybody's like that, right? And that's why I say at the capacity that you know your friend to meet you at, if they can't do that, then I think it's fair to reevaluate the friendship. Some friends are your actual good friends for a lifetime. Some friends are just there for the party. Some are just there for a brunch. Some and it's okay to say that. And I think sometimes we're scared to be like, ah, I don't want to call them the friend that I only, hang out with for brunch. Like, no, it's okay to say, you know what? I think you're just my friend for brunch, and that's okay. But what I'm not going to do is every time you invite me to your parties or place, I show up. And when I invite you, you never show. So that is where I'm at with my friends is I want people who show me the same energy and love. Because for me, I'm like, and that's by default, I'm a Scorpio. Okay. I know. We're very loyal. We're loyal to a default. And if you're my friend, you're my friend. And I love you and I care about you. And I would never put you in a position to ever doubt that. As somebody who is like that, I have to take a step back and say, okay, relax, it's not do or die, but is this person giving you the same energy? And I kind of want everybody to think about that, even as you listen to the second part of this episode. Are your friends giving you the same love and affection and energy and all the things that you needed from a friend? Right. So that is what I'm doing right now. And I don't believe in writing a long message to a friend and be like, this is everything you did to me and I'm ending it, block. But I also don't believe in the ghost. I believe in the slow burn, which sounds so bad. But I'm just falling back, is what I would say, is what we say. We just kind of fall back. That's where I'm at. I am falling back from people who don't care, really. And that's honest as day. And the people that I fell back from and I've said, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. Have they reached out? Absolutely not. Have they called to meet up for a coffee, brunch, tea? Absolutely not. So I'm realizing who is my tier one, who's my tier two, who's my tier three, and I'm treating everyone accordingly. And that's not because I want to be like, oh, you're a tier one or you're a tier two. It's because I have to protect my peace and who I am and my energy. And if I'm giving my energy to constantly show up for people who don't show up for me, where does that leave me? Absolutely drained. So this is my little solo part. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys breaking up with a friend? Do you ghost? What do you do? I want to hear all about it. But now let's tune in to the interview with Emma. Hey guys, and welcome back to Left on Red. It's your host, Sierra, and today I have a special guest. Her name is Emma, and she is the founder of 6 Degrees. Hi, Emma. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So, where are you from? Well, we know your name. You're Emma, but where are you from? What do you do? Let's get a nice little introduction about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am from Connecticut. I grew up in Connecticut, but I was born in Bangkok, Thailand. And I moved here when I was 5. And I have been working in marketing basically my whole career, marketing and PR. And I started at a PR agency and then I went in-house on marketing. And now I actually run social events in New York City, um, for people to just meet new friends and, broaden their social circles. And yeah, it's not something I would have ever expected for myself considering I'm kind of an introvert, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And we have something in common. I work in marketing too. I worked at several agencies and now I freelance. So that's exciting. But you
Awesome.
said
Yes.
that you never thought that you would be doing this because you're an introvert. So how did 6 Degrees get started? What's the origin story of 6 Degrees?
Yeah, so It actually came about because of TikTok, funnily enough. So I remember I was on TikTok one day and I saw this girl and she doesn't live in New York, she lives somewhere else, but she said she, had put on this whole kind of night for her and like a few friends, like probably like 10 girls or something, and none of them
Mhm.
showed up. And she was so upset because she was like, I'm super busy and like I'm kind of new to this city and it's just been so hard to like find friends and to find time in my schedule to prioritize like creating these friendships. And so I felt so terrible for her too, because I think I take for granted the fact that I live in New York, but I have a lot of my like friends and family very close by, and I know a lot of other people don't. And
Yeah.
so, I think I've kind of taken that for granted in that, like, I really haven't had to go out of my way to, like, make friends because I kinda just meet friends through all of the people that I already know here. So, I made a TikTok and I basically said, "I know it's hard to make friends in New York or any city, any new city, and I would be happy to put on a, happy hour where other people can come and just meet new people."
Well,
And
that's really sweet. I love that.
yeah, and I like, I do not know what prompted me to do this because again, I am an introvert, but, I like, the girls were in my DMs, they were in the
Mhm.
comments, it was like a whole thing, and I was like, actually
Yeah.
I was a little bit overwhelmed because there was like a couple hundred girls, so I was like, "Oh, okay, like, this is a thing." I was thinking it was gonna be like a, 40, 50 person kinda thing somewhere.
Yeah. Something, like, really small, maybe,
Um
like, intimate or just, like, enough for people to come, but now you went viral on TikTok, like, the algorithm was working in your favor because I saw your
It
video and I
was.
was like, "Oh my god, this is so cool." So, yeah.
Yeah, the algorithm was definitely algorithming.
Yeah,
Um,
it was because sometimes TikTok and Instagram, the algorithm does not algorithm like you want it to algorithm. So, yeah, yeah, it's
yes,
really good, yeah.
precisely, yeah, so yeah, I mean, it reached, like, tens of thousands of people, and, I was, like, a little bit overwhelmed. I think this was back in January,
Mhm.
or maybe even February, and so I was like, "Okay," like, I it was the beginning of the year, things were happening, whatever, so then I think like, mid or end of February came around, and, by that point, I was like, "Okay," like, I made, like, a Google Forms, I reached out to I literally know no, like, bar or, like, event people, so, like, I reached out to this bar that I had had my birthday at,
Mhm.
the year prior, and he was like, "Yep," like, "We're happy to do it." So it was actually
That's
pretty
amazing.
easy to get it, like, up and running, and
Yeah.
so yeah, so once I had, um, everybody's, like, info who wanted to join, I did another video, and I was like, "Hey, so, like, I made this other video, like, you know, if you are still interested, fill out the form in my bio, and, you'll get a link to, the event happening," and the first one was I think it was on March 13th or something like that,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's been going ever since. We sold out. There was, like, 125 girls. We've sold out almost every single one, I think.
That's
I just had
amazing.
yeah.
Well, you started off saying that you did this because you saw a TikTok video about another girl and she invited girls over and nobody came. And that got me thinking, I think we've all have experienced a bit of like disappointment or rejection with friends or people that you're trying to
Mhm.
become friends with. So my question for you is what do you look for in friends now that you're running an event for people for girls to meet other girls and build these authentic friendships? What are you looking for in your friends or things that you have in your friends or that you really value and cherish? Is it transparency? Is it being authentic? What are those things that you're looking for in a friendship?
Yeah, I it's so funny, I've looked at I think I've reevaluated a lot of my friendships over the last, 2 or 3 years, and,
Yeah, as one does in their mid-20s, you start to you're like, "Oh, wait, I graduated,"
yeah.
and I'm like, "Yeah, who are my friends and what do I value now?" Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think, like, it's funny before I answer that question, I think it's funny how there comes a time where you kind of realize you assess your friendships and you realize, like, you just don't align anymore, and it's
Yeah.
fine, like, not everything has to be, like, a big, like friendship breakup and like traumatic. It's like, you can see yourselves moving in different directions and that's okay. Like there's still love there, but
Mhm.
like, maybe there's just not room for each other in either of your lives anymore. So I feel like I've been kind of going through a bit of that, especially the last like year or two. But
Yeah.
I think in terms of, I wouldn't say look for something specific in friends, but I think the way in which my closest friends have shown up for me is key. Like I feel like I'm very much the like strong friend. I'm the one you go to when you want some sense, not the one when you want, when you
When
want
you
me to
want somebody to
agree
like
with
feed
everybody.
your delusions, like, yeah, feed my
Yeah.
delusions and
Yeah,
yeah.
I will. I mean, I'll not. I could feed your delusions if you want me to, but
Yeah.
my friends know. They're like, okay, let me go to Emma for some real advice. But I think I would say like the way in which my friends have shown up for me has been key. Like I'm the strong friend, but I think like my friends know like they like know like you can't always have everything like good all the time and that they do check in on me, and I think that's a big thing. We all have things going on in our lives, so I think like checking in on each other is like a great thing, but also checking in intentionally, not just doing it to check the box, right?
Yeah.
But
Be like,
like
oh yeah, like, okay, I checked in with Emma. She's good. And not like authentic. It's not like I like they really care. It's just like, oh, I checked it off, off my list of people to check in on.
absolutely. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I had a friend who did that, and I was just like, "What? Are you like my parole officer, like checking like
Yeah,
like it
like
was just
checking in. Yeah.
yeah, it was so weird." But yeah, like my friends check in, voice notes are a big thing if we're not in the same place. But another thing is just like sending like thoughtful, like my friend Lee, she lives in LA, like she will send me cards, like happy birthday cards. She will send me, a card just thanking me for coming to visit her for her birthday. Like she is
That's really
fantastic.
sweet.
Yeah, and and like she never fails. Like
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, and I think another thing is like celebrating our successes. I think it's important as we get a little bit older to understand that we're all not on the same timeline anymore, especially when it comes to like leaving college. And so
That is
um
such a good point. Yeah.
yeah, and so like, we can all be in different parts of our lives, but still be able to celebrate other people who are maybe a bit ahead of us, or maybe they've taken a little bit to get there, but they're there now. And so I
Hmm.
think like the way in which my friends celebrate me and like support me with their words, with their actions, with gifts or anything is like it's truly really nice to get that appreciation, and vice versa. I love doing that for my friends as well. So yeah, and I think the things that I watch out for are the friends that actually don't, really reach out or celebrate me or anything when things are going well. Um,
Well,
but
now see,
yeah.
there's this thing that's going around on TikTok. Well, it was a thing a few months ago, and it was like the low maintenance friend. And that just made me of what you just said of like your friends who don't reach out. And so on TikTok, I know it's like one girl did like a video went viral and people were, just stitching it. But they were saying like being the low maintenance friend is looked like down upon, but it's like not, like the friend that doesn't check in as much, but they check in like every, 6 or something months, but like they're still your friend, but they're just low maintenance. What do you think
Hmm.
about that? Because I think I don't like low maintenance anything. And I think that's like a friendship, really. Like, I think that is a way to kind of like eat, like to breeze by and say, like, I am going to be bare minimum and it's acceptable and be a bit lazy, in my opinion. Like,
Hmm.
it feels like a lazy friend or a lazy girlfriend or a lazy boyfriend or, like whatever the relationship is. But it's like, if you have to call yourself, in my opinion, like low maintenance in any type of relationship you're putting yourself in, I don't think you want to be in that relationship, in my opinion. Like, and that's like friendship or like romantic. So, what do you
Hmm.
think about a friend who's like, well, like I'll see you every like 6 or 8 months, but I'm still there for you. Like, what's your opinion on a low maintenance bestie?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's so funny, like low maintenance, high maintenance, it's like a car or something.
Right?
But
Exactly. It's like a car. Like, are you
you know,
luxury? Are you a Toyota?
yeah,
Right? Like, yeah. It's funny.
But here's the thing, I think, like, if we're even gonna equate, like, a friendship to a car, I don't know how I got here, but well, stay with me, stay with
Okay,
me.
okay.
Um, I think, like, at the end of the day, like, doesn't matter what kind of car you get, it requires maintenance, right?
Yep.
And, like, if you want that thing running, you gotta, do the oil changes, you gotta, do the car washes and go, get whatever, the fluid check, whatever you do with cars. I don't know. We
Yep.
live in New York. I don't drive.
Exactly. I don't drive MTA all the way, train and bus, train and bus.
Literally. So, I think like every relationship requires maintenance, and I don't think it's ever going to be low all the time, right? I
Yeah.
think it's like it's like when you think of being in a relationship or in a marriage and people are like it's never 50-50. That's kind of how I think of friendships, right? Like sometimes it's 70-30, but other times it's like 80-20. And so I think it fluctuates, especially like when we're going through different things. It could be, maybe like a death in the family or mental health, or work's really terrible and you want to change
Hmm.
something, or whatever. Like there are so many different things that I think we go through, and we don't necessarily always have the capacity that we once had to show up, right? But it doesn't mean we
Yeah.
don't want to show up. It just means we can't do that right now. So when I think of low maintenance friendships, and it's funny because what you described, I had this, and like it was the friend who I've known for a long time, and I remember once we went to different schools, we kind of had this thing where we would check in like every like 3 or so months or something like that. Um, and it just, I feel like the longer we let it go, the longer the next time we talked was, to the point
Yep.
where it was kind of like, well, I can do my life without you, and it's
Exactly.
fine without you.
Yeah.
So why do I need you in my life anymore, kind of thing,
Hmm.
And not even in a mean way, but in a
Yeah. But it's just kind of like that natural or like mutual kind of like, I don't think this person's for me anymore. Or like like this friend is for me because we can talk and I'm still okay. And we can hang with other people and I'm not, missing her or missing him.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So it was just kind of, and I want to say like this wasn't just like some like random friend. Like this was like a very long standing friendship. And so
Got it.
for me, and it was through so many different phases of both of our lives that it this is what I was talking about at the beginning of like reevaluating kind of where people stand in your lives as you move, into the next phases of your lives, right? Like I kind of realized like if I were to meet you today, would I actually be friends with you? And the
Hmm.
the unfortunate question, like the unfortunate answer was no. um and so yeah, so I think like I don't necessarily believe in low maintenance friendships or high maintenance friendships. Like I believe every friendship and relationship requires maintenance, and it'll fluctuate based on where you're at. And I think if you're a good friend to each other, you realize that and you kind of try to pick up where they can't, and vice versa.
That's great. What are some things that you have learned so far in your journey of running 6 degrees?
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you this, like I'm
Or like a
so
hot take,
baffled.
you know? Yeah.
A hot take, a hot take. I will say that people are just as scared as you are. Like,
Yeah.
like I think people think I have it together, and like I absolutely do not. Like I remember when I first hosted like the first event, and I was like my heart was beating. I have asthma. I was like, where's my inhaler? Like
Yeah.
I was stressed. And
Yeah.
but like I put on a brave face for, a lot of things. But I was really scared because I was like, okay, like I'm doing this thing, I'm meeting strangers. Like I knew nobody that came personally. And so
Mhm.
except for like my photographer friend.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous, but just as I was nervous putting on this event and, like, meeting people, like, the girls who showed up were just as nervous,
Exactly.
even though it was something they wanted to do, but they were just as scared, and so
Exactly.
I think my hot take is, like, everybody is just as nervous as you are, like, you're not alone in feeling that, and, I think that that is just something important to keep in the back of your head. Like, not everybody has it figured out. I certainly don't have it figured out. I'm, like making this up as I go along for sure. But I think the thing that kind of puts me a little bit ahead is like I have such a great community of people, like from the people, like the connections that I have, like on LinkedIn through past jobs or, through random people who see my TikTok, like you, who reach out and they're like, hey, I would love to talk to you, or hey, I'm like a DJ, would love to DJ your next event, or I do photography or videography, I'd love to do this and that. Like, so many people have reached out and they're so just kind and helpful. And like, my friends are like followed my Instagram page for it and they like come and attend. So like it really has helped me, I think, more than somebody who just kind of started and doesn't have like that kind of community around them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, you have all these events lined up for the summer. Are you going to have any events for singles? Because we're a dating podcast, right? Left on Red is
Yeah, yes.
so we were definitely like, we're very interested. Like, is there going to be a singles event coming up or any just insight for the future of 6 Degrees that we can get?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously this started as like happy hours, like social happy hours for women to meet other women in New York City and around New York City, right?
Yeah.
However, like it's summertime. I don't know about you, but I definitely want to shake my ass on like a rooftop somewhere.
Absolutely. Summer in New York, like most of my listeners are from New York with summer kind of like in the South. Summer
Hmm.
in New York is a big thing for us. We don't get this weather like ever. So we need to
Yeah.
be on it's rooftop weather. Absolutely.
Yes, we need to be outside. And so I am definitely working behind the scenes to one, like kind of just have like a rooftop party or like just like a summer party. Hopefully in like, somewhere in Manhattan or Brooklyn. Like
Hmm.
that's,
Yeah, don't
we
don't forget about the Brooklyn girlies. We need, Brooklyn needs representation.
yeah, they do because,
We
and I love
do.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So yes, like some just like those like fun vibes like on a weekend, kind of thing, day party, but also like singles events. Like I hear you. I hear the people and I'm going to try to give you guys what you want. And so that's in the works as well. And then in terms of some other things, I definitely there's so many like there's right now I think over like 1,000 girls that are kind of like in this community, and so
Hmm.
um I definitely like, and there's so many like I've met lawyers, I've met nurses, I've met teachers, creatives, videographers, like people in beauty and lifestyle and whatever. And so it's been really great. And I think it would be great to add kind of like a professional component to 6 Degrees, um, by way of like doing like panels with, industry leaders and, kind of doing like more soft skill panels, like especially because there's a lot of girls who are influencers or creatives and stuff like that. And so, doing stuff to like kind of help them with that. Like, how do you negotiate a contract that you get from a brand or,
Exactly.
that kind of stuff. So, that is definitely on the agenda for the fall. But, for the summer, we're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it light. We're going to do,
Woo!
some singles events and whatnot.
Well,
And
if you
yeah,
have
and
a
just
singles event, or even, I know you have a lineup for the summer for friends events, we would love to come from the podcast and get any content or just come and support. So very excited about that. Love what you're doing.
thank
So,
you so much.
um, well, to wrap up this interview, is there any quote or piece of advice that you would like to give to our listeners?
Oh my gosh. This is yeah, this is a good one. I don't know what I would say, but I think I would just say do what makes you happy. Like before I started doing these events, like I was working, I had a 9 to 5. I'm no longer at my 9 to 5. And I could feel like my energy just like draining every single time that I went into the office. Like, it was just something that a year ago I was happy to do, and 6 months ago I was happy to do, but, like, most recently I wasn't, my heart wasn't in it. And, now, like, I'm so much happier because I think doing this is what makes me happy, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
throwing events in New York City, I'm doing freelance marketing, like, and life is good. Life is easy, and I get to meet amazing people along the way. And I remember the day after I woke up and I just no longer had to go to my 9 to 5, it was like the birds were chirping, like, the
The
sun was
sun came out. Yeah.
shining. I
All the
woke up
rain
at 7
stopped. Yeah.
AM, but yeah, like, I was ready to go. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, look at the blue in the sky." Like, it was crazy. Like, the switch just, like, turned on, right? Like, I was just like, I'm living in my truth and I'm doing the things that I've been wanting to do, but I was too scared to kind of initiate
Yeah.
sooner. And and so, yeah, so I would just say do what makes you happy and follow, like, listen to your body, listen to how your body is showing up. If you're dragging yourself to work, if you're, tired all the time, like, maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing and, see if you can be doing something that makes you happy.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you for the advice and just for the whole episode. Where can people find you? What's your at? What's your handle?
So you can find me personally at Emma Oyomba, Oyomba, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. But you can also follow 6 Degrees on Instagram at 6degrees.nyc.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Emma. Bye.